Hello, I'm the KnucklesSuperFan here, and welcome to part 2 of Let's Play Knuckles and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And even between parts, that does not get any easier or shorter to say. In the last part, we managed to get 2 out of the 6 Chaos Emeralds, unfortunately failing the 3rd special stage, but that's okay. Like I said, we have plenty of chances to get the Chaos Emerald. To get all the Chaos Emeralds. And we managed to make it to the 2nd act of Marble Zone. And unfortunately, this is going to be the longest level of the 3 acts, because there's no way to cheese it as far as I know. If you don't remember in the last part, I managed to climb over a wall that normally you couldn't even get onto as Sonic. And that made it incredibly easy to get past the level. And here, it's a little bit tougher, it's a lot slower, that's for sure. And that's, like I said, that's something that a lot of people don't like about Marble Zone. And it doesn't help here that I go and fool around a lot in this area. Oh, and here, if you're ducking when you're on the block, you'll actually pass right through it. You're not supposed to be able to do it. There's also another glitch. If you jump after the first lava spray, then you'll actually you won't curl up into a ball when you jump. You'll just jump straight up normally. It's a glitch that a lot of people know about, and it's a pretty standard one. So I try to make it up there, and I say, oh, I guess I can't do that, so I managed to keep my rings intact. I come back out here to make this block respawn. And I say, okay, well, I can just go all the way back to the beginning of it. That way I can start this block, and I'm like, wait a second, nope, I want to get the shield. I want to get the shield. Because I really don't want to lose all my rings. I really want to get to the special stage of this zone. Well, this act in particular. And I don't know why I'm waiting around here, because clearly I wouldn't have jumped from here before I managed to make it on to the ledge over there, but I guess I'm just trying to be careful because I don't want to have to redo this section all over again, so I guess yay me, better to be safe than sorry. And again, Knuckles can just climb right here. As you can see, you want to go to the left because there's a checkpoint and a ring box. 2-for-1 deal if I do say so myself. As I'm watching this, because it's been a really long time since I've recorded this, I realized that I actually use Knuckles' abilities to my advantage more than I thought I would. Because it's weird, I've adapted my gameplay style to whatever character I'm playing. I'm like, oh, I'm Knuckles, so I have these abilities, so I can go and take advantage of them. Whereas if I'm Sonic, I wouldn't even think twice about trying to do any of that. There's just a set way that I go and play the game. Oh, and here's something that everyone does here. As you can see, I'm getting a ton of points for breaking these blocks, but the last 2 give you, if you destroy all of them in succession, you get 10,000 points. And really, there's no point to points in this game. They're actually entirely useless. In later Sonic games, if you got 50,000, you'd get an extra life or something like that. Or if at the end of this stage you got 10,000, then you would get an extra life. But no, there's just no point in this game. In later ports of the game, oh, that was a close one right there. In later ports of the game, they actually fixed that so that you got an extra life after 50,000. I know specifically the 3DS port does it, and I believe the iPhone and Android for what am I from? Joyzy? The Voisin? No, the Android and iPhone version of the game does that as well. And speaking of the mobile version of the game, Knuckles is actually a playable character in it. He is an unlockable character that you get if you collect all the Chaos Emeralds and beat the game, which is pretty cool. They finally decided to go and implement Knuckles in the game. Now these special stages might make a lot of people sick. You might get motion sickness from it, and it's really trippy because you have the fish changing into the hummingbirds, and that's just really weird, and you're rubbing yourself up against these diamonds that protect the emerald. And here, I'm sorry to say, I spend an unfortunate amount of time in this special stage. Like, look, there's 2 things there keeping me from getting the emerald. And it's like, I'm just right there. I literally need to destroy that block, and now I can get the emerald. But, do you think the game's gonna make it easy on me? Nope. I'm gonna spend quite a bit of time here, which is really annoying, because, see, look, I was right there, I was right beside it, and I keep almost dying, but I finally managed to roll my way into it. I finally managed to get the Chaos Emerald, and that makes me happy, you know? Make me happier if there were 4 there, but what are you gonna do? You can't always get what you want, but right there I managed to get what I need. Wow, that was a lame reference, even though that's a pretty good song. So here in Act 3, I don't need to really bother with anything. I can just go and glide and climb this wall right here, cheese my way through the whole level. I don't think I even bother. Oh, here I just didn't want. I wanted to make sure that I didn't fall off an edge. I wanted to make sure I could see it coming, so I was trying to slow myself down. As you can see, that's exactly what happens when you don't do that. I go and end up getting hit twice, making a pretty big fool out of myself. But this part, it's not too hard. You can easily make the jump as Sonic, and even with Knuckles' skip jumped, his gliding more than makes up for it. So the second boss is actually a lot easier than the first boss, but because you're Knuckles, you actually have to wait for him to dip down in order to hit him. But this is all he does. He just flies back and forth, and when he gets to one side, he'll drop a fireball on it, go to the other side. And actually, you know, Knuckles' disadvantage makes this an interesting boss fight, I find. There's actually a boss in Sonic 3 and Knuckles that Knuckles doesn't fight because he doesn't go to the Death Egg Zone, but if you manage to hack Knuckles into the level, he can't beat the boss unless you put a wall there for him to grab onto, because his jump isn't high enough to reach the boss normally. So here's an example where Knuckles' Gimp jump actually doesn't work in his favor, and it actually changes how you have to fight the boss. I mean, when you're Sonic, you can hit him a bunch of times when he's on the platform. You can hit him probably 3 times per side, maybe even more if you're good. But Knuckles can't do that, so you have to find another way. And here we're in Spring Yard Zone, and this level is actually a pretty good level too. The music is good, there's weird bumpers here, and it's actually pretty fast. There's unfortunately slow sections like this, but for the most part I'm pretty happy with this level as a whole. You want to be careful here when you're on the elevators, because they can crush you if you get stuck between 2 of them. It's not super likely to happen, but it could. And these enemies right here are obnoxious, the rollers. Go and look like Sonic, they roll into a ball, and when they're in the ball you can't actually hurt them, and they go pretty fast, they jump too, making them kind of unpredictable. And here I want to go up, and I was like, I should hit that switch so I can make the platform go, but then I'm like, wait a second, I'm Knuckles, I don't need to do that. Forget trying to do that. There's no need. Again, the first and second act of each zone is where you can go and get the Chaos Emeralds. As long as you have 50 rings, you can do it. And this level, it's really weird. They have stuff like CPU, cope throughout the level. I don't know what... I know CPU is, you know, central processing unit. And I know what cope means, you know, it's to deal with something, but why in this level? Why is that even a thing? These little guys right here are annoying. Like the caterpillars in the last zone, you can't jump on them, but you can roll into them. Oh, and there, that's pretty smooth. What I do right there is Knuckles. And enemies always scare me because I'm terrified I'm gonna lose my rings. So I'm just trying to wait for them, make sure they can't hurt me with his little crab fireballs. And I believe that there's something down here, and I'm like, oh yes, ring box. Let's get that. And unfortunately I won't get an extra life, but I made it to the end of the stage. And in the next parts, we'll be taking on the special stage and getting the Chaos Emerald, hopefully. So see you guys then, and thank you again for watching.